Hello guys, my name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel and you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight this war. Today is one of the videos that I hate recording because I have to speak about a tragic event, a tragic act of genocide committed by Russians in Kupiansk region in the village HROZA. And also about the attack on Kharkiv and Kherson and many other places that led to the deaths of hundreds of Ukrainians. Yesterday, 52 people died because of a missile attack on the village HROZA. In Ukrainian, this means thunder. This was the village previously occupied by Russians and now liberated, and they targeted a cafe in which there was a dinner after the funeral. But the story is very illustrative, very tragic, and I believe all of us have to know and remember that. That was a funeral of a Ukrainian soldier who died at the beginning of full-scale Russian invasion. He was buried in Dnipro, and then his family decided to bring his remains to his native village after the liberation, because it was important for them to keep the connection to native land that was liberated. On that lunch after the funeral, that's a Ukrainian tradition, always when you return back from the graveyard, from the funeral, to spend some time with close and relatives, and people eat and pray. This is a very sad type of a lunch. And of course, all of his family was present and all of his family died because Russians are terrorists. They hit with these missiles a very small 300 people lived there previously village. Many left during the war. And now, of course, they knew it's not a military object. It's not something that they need to target, but creating genocide in Ukraine, they used it opportunity. The son of the man whose funeral that was a soldier who also returned just for a funeral. His wife and his mother were with him, and all of them died in the result of this terrorist act. 52 people killed. These people were fighting for Ukraine. These people were ordinary village dwellers. Many of them are old, some of them are children, and that was a lunch after the funeral. Don't try to find something normal in Russia. Don't try to treat them as, some say orcs is a bad word. No. What is also very illustrative, and I want you to remember that about Ukrainians, this man and his son returned from abroad to fight for Ukraine. Previously, they worked abroad. They returned to protect motherland. Please, if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe and help us fight with Russia. Russia must be defeated and serious processes must take place in their society. I don't know how can they live, but I read some of these good Russian publications. And you know what they say? Well, a missile reacted to a gathering of mobile phones because all of these people had mobile phones with them. And in the result, they were targeted. So we don't have to blame Russian army that it targets groups of mobile phones, and it was a mistake because they should have known that Ukrainian soldiers no more use mobile phones on the front lines. They are not thinking about how evil they are, that it's just like genocide, killing anyone. And they explain it as a mistake. Oh, guys, you gathered with mobile phones. You are responsible for your own death. Russians cannot be forgiven. They are finding these excuses. They try to demonstrate themselves as liberators when they are aggressors, when they are killers, when they commit genocide. Don't be afraid of this term. This is nothing else. 52 people killed in a small village cafe after they reburied their father. No one will tell this story because it's sad. Facebook blurs the photos. Will it blur our memories? Will it blur lives and pain of their relatives, of their friends? Isn't that the illustration of how evil Russia is, and Russians, not just Putin, who press these buttons, who target these missiles, who support or try to find excuses, like people gathered together. Today, Russia targeted Kharkiv, a central part, which is a very beautiful city, killing a 10-year-old boy. What's his guilt? He is Ukrainian. Russians are Nazis, modern-day Nazis. And, the world worked really hard with denazification of Germany, speaking about all of these crimes, showing them to people and to the world, and prosecuting for that denial. Something similar must happen to Russia. Let's not look for a solution. How do we negotiate? What do we decide? They are criminals. Like, I am afraid to inform you, but it's very likely that hundreds of millions, or I don't know, 80% of those who support the war are actually evil. I know it's very terrifying to think, what do we do with all of these people? And maybe there is no direct answer, and we are not orcs to kill them, but we cannot forgive them or say, it's okay, it's normal, it's just Putin told you. No, Putin did not tell everyone. And 140 million can do nothing with just 1 or 2 or 5 orcs. I'm afraid there are more of them in Russia. Please subscribe and share. This is a very tragic time in the history of my country. Remember that when we imitate normality in this world, dozens and hundreds of Ukrainians are killed just because they are Ukrainians. It can happen to us anywhere. I'm actually right now in book forum for one very important project, and I hope in future I will be able to share with you more. Filming some interesting interviews with top people who work against Russian propaganda. But Lviv can also be a target. Any village, any place, any person. For a Russian, I am just a sack with bones, a target. Honestly, think about that when you try to find an excuse or explanation. This war must be won because Russia will not stop. Please help me share this message, subscribe, and thank you so much for your support. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons. I value that a lot. I value the opportunities that you give me. Subscribe to my Instagram, Threads, Twitter, join my Discord community, and see you tomorrow for our live conversation. Slava Ukraini!